Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something that, might sound like a pretty dry administrative duty at first glance, but I promise you, it's actually the absolute foundational backbone of organizational transparency and efficiency. We're talking about filing. Have you ever felt the sheer panic of misplacing a highly important document? You know the feeling, maybe it's a tax form, a crucial business contract, or even just your passport right before a flight. It's a totally universal pain point. That awful feeling of lost information is exactly what a proper filing system eliminates. Okay, let's dive into this and see how we can solve it. Here's our agenda for today. We're going to cover the core of filing, office filing procedures, who controls the files, systems of classification, and finally, the paperless office. These really are the superpowers of a transparent business, so let's get right to it.
Section 1. The core of filing, building the foundation. So at its core, filing is the central record-keeping mechanism of any organization. It's used to store documents securely and, just as importantly, to locate them quickly and conveniently. Simply put, a file is really just a container for storing information, but filing itself, that's the strategic system that keeps a business operating systematically, safely, and transparently. If your documents are less likely to tear, get dirty, or just completely vanish into thin air, well, you've got a really good system in place.
But what makes a system actually work in the real world? Well, an ideal filing system has 7 essential superpowers. First, we need simplicity, so literally any employee can use it without getting confused. Accessibility, to locate files fast and put them back easily. Compactness, because, let's face it, physical space costs a lot of money. Economy, meaning the benefits actually outweigh the costs of running the whole shebang. Flexibility, to easily expand as the business grows. Safety, to protect your vital records from insects, water damage, or just plain mishandling. And finally, retention, having a crystal clear policy for what stays and what gets tossed.
Section 2. Office filing procedures, the daily workflow. Let's move to Phase 1 and see how this builds. We're looking at the actual life cycle of a document here. Phase 1 starts with the order to file. And this is absolutely crucial because, well, not all papers are equally important, right? A responsible officer actually has to make a decision and officially order a document to be preserved so unnecessary clutter doesn't just pile up. After that comes preparation, and then sorting and filing. This is where documents are coded, indexed, and placed into their proper folders. This is often done in chronological order, so the absolute newest, most relevant info is sitting right on top, exactly where you need it.
Following that continuous flow, we hit Phase 2. Sometimes files need a follow-up slip as a sort of built-in reminder for future action on a specific date. Then there's retrieval, when a file is removed for use, an out card actually takes its physical place in the folder, noting exactly who took it and when it's due back. This is non-negotiable for tracking. Eventually, we hit transfer files, which is for older documents moving out of the active rotation, and finally, retention, where files are kept long-term based on strict legal requirements. Moving to Section 3, who controls the files? The structural organization.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the fascinating contrast between two major business models. On one side, we've got centralized filing. Think of a massive corporation like Apple, right under the leadership of Tim Cook. Decision-making and file control are strictly retained in the head office by an exclusive, dedicated records department. This completely avoids duplication and really maximizes storage space. But on the other side, we have decentralized filing. This is where end users actually control the files they create. Think of localized businesses like your neighborhood supermarket or an individual hotel. This setup offers great privacy and localized reliability, but man, it can make broader company-wide coordination much, much harder.
Section 4. Systems of classification, the language of sorting. So the specific needs of a business will totally dictate the exact sorting system they use, their file plan, basically. First up, there's alphabetical. This could be topical, it can be geographic by location, or even set up like an encyclopedia. It's fantastic for vast amounts of data where you just want users to search generic categories easily. Next is numeric. This covers straight numbering, duplex systems like the famous Dewey Decimal System you've seen in libraries, or chronological sorting by date. This handles massive, high volumes incredibly well. But the catch is, you usually require an index to know what the numbers actually mean. Finally, we have alphanumeric. By combining letters and numbers, think of the Library of Congress system, you unlock a massive, incredibly flexible range of categories. Let's look at Section 5, the paperless office, moving to the cloud. At its base level, digitizing is simply the process of converting any hard copy or non-digital record into a digital format so you can access it securely from anywhere. So the crucial point is really understanding the difference between merely digitizing documents, like, just scanning a basic PDF, and actual digitalization. Digitalization actually embraces technology to collect data, establish trends, and completely transform your overall business workflow. It's a total game changer. And the beauty is, those physical filing principles we discussed map perfectly onto cloud servers. By essentially replacing clunky physical filing cabinets with secure smartphones and online networks, we literally eliminate transcription errors, massively improve our digital workflow, and ensure incredibly fast retrieval through metadata. It creates this amazing single source of truth for audits and allows companies to handle big data strategically. You see, it's the exact same core principles we talked about at the start: simplicity, safety, accessibility, just supercharged by modern technology.
Which brings us to a vital final step: weeding. Weeding is the act of removing unnecessary files from your active records. Think of this as kind of the Marie Kondo concept of records management. It isn't just some boring compliance rule, it's the ultimate digital decluttering strategy to save space and really speed up your workflows. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Is your own digital life overflowing right now, and do you desperately need a good weeding out? Definitely some food for thought. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.